What happens when you invite 8 renowned food and wine experts to come stay in Irvine? Well, you get to fill and personally label your own bottle of wine. You get to try a gourmet pizza topped with an egg. And you get to visit the world's largest chocolate sculpture, which is right here behind me. That's what's coming up next on Irvine Scene. Welcome to this episode of Irvine Scene. I'm your host, Dave Ihrig. Whether you like to entertain, cook, try new wines, or find new restaurants, this episode is full of tasty tidbits. We put together a team of experts who are going to make some recommendations about the samplings of culinary offerings right here in the Irvine area. And before we meet those experts, we're going to talk to the woman who made it all possible, Wendy Haase of Destination Irvine. She is the Director of Tourism Marketing. And Wendy, tell us first about Destination Irvine.
Destination Irvine is the official destination marketing organization to promote Irvine to visitors. We tell the story of what Irvine has to offer from restaurants, shopping, entertainment, and attractions in hopes that those planning a trip to Orange County stay in Irvine.
Tell us now about this event.
A group of writers from the International Food, Wine, and Travel Writers Association. I had met one of the attendees at a previous media marketplace and talked about Irvine and what we had to offer, and she expressed interest in bringing the group here. So we put together an itinerary with our tourism partners that we hope showcase some of the finer culinary offerings Irvine has.
So we brought this group of journalists to a couple of different restaurants, and then they write about what they try, their experiences, the food, what they see here in Irvine, and then they send that out through their blogs and their other distribution centers to everyone over the internet. Is that how it works?
We hope that readers and their followers will see what they've experienced and want to do it for themselves.
Well, now it's time to go meet our panel of experts. James Wooden, a contributor to many publications, is a co-founder of the Academy of Culinary Professionals. Roger Page, a.k.a. a photographer for thefocustraveler.com, is exploring life one exposure at a time. Susan Montgomery, currently writing food articles for The Examiner, Susan's been publishing articles and books for over 20 years. Shayna Engel, passing on an insider's perspective of travel, she's the owner and writer for thedivinedish.com. Corey Maui is on the panel of food, wine, and beverage experts at worldwidedelicacies.com. Her personal blog is lifehalfffull.com. Linda Kassam, a wine pairing expert who reaches over 7 million readers and listeners nationally with each article. Ray Pearson, the Whiskey Meister's articles appeared on sites like Just Lux and City Room and multiple publications such as The Examiner. Crazy. And now it's time to take this whole crew to destination number 1.
So the Wine Artist, it's a private event venue, and it's also a winery, so all the wines that you tasted here today are actually here made on the premises.
Okay. The Wine Artist is our first stop, and the owner, MJ, has decided to host an Asian cooking class.
They may not be chefs, but they've traveled the world and they know what they're eating and they know what they like and don't like. As far as the Asian ingredients, I think while they may have been, they know knowledge about food, maybe the Asian ingredients, they're not as familiar. Yeah, this is a really, really fun class because people love Thai food, but they necessarily may not know how to cook.
It's our city's first impression. Our reputation is on the line, and these seasoned wine and food experts seem to have some reservations about their reservation.
I travel around the world as a food and wine writer, and so I see a lot of these types of cooking schools.
So what we're going to do is we're going to make spring rolls. As far as spring rolls, I'm going to actually have you create your own.
My thought was, what am I doing here? I am not a cook.
Lord help me. I was thinking I've never made Thai food.
You get a little nervous because it's really not in your comfort zone.
I'm taking quite a few wine classes, cooking classes, and it's really hard to keep that many people on task without being kind of, a jerk about it.
MJ begins by educating the group about Asian cooking in general.
If you notice, all Asian food, you don't add a lot of salt because the soy sauce and the fish sauce actually has a lot of salt in there.
About the different vegetables.
So what you're trying to get is this yellow little piece in the middle, okay? This here is not edible. This is good for using stock. If you can't find the Thai chilies, just use the jalapeno, and that's fine. This is very different than the Italian basil. This is Thai basil.
And then everyone gets to work making spring rolls.
You don't need your recipe. Leave your recipe there, keep it clean, and pick a station.
So you're doing all the carrots?
Yep. So this is actually the noodle that we're going to put inside. I want you to just do this exactly just 2 seconds. I love things like the Thai basil and the mint and the cilantro. It has such a great balance because you got a little bit of the sweet, you got a little of the mint, and the cilantro is going to be a little bit of the bitter. Okay. I want to put the shrimp first because when you roll, you want to see actually the shrimp when you roll. Okay. So you want to put that first. You want to have this kind of stick at the end, so you kind of want to do this now like this. So that way when you roll, and then you can actually see the shrimp over here.
I've done spring rolls before.
An interesting and definitive transformation takes place.
No, this is my first one, and this is the second one, so we're getting better.
What started as a formal cooking class turned into, well, a party.
I like the camaraderie of the group working together.
It was so fun because it was so interactive. Like, we all got to cooperate together and everybody was put in charge of chopping something or mixing something. And, it just gives you a chance to get to know your friends and colleagues a little bit better.
The group then went on to make chicken curry and pad thai. And lastly, each participant was able to cork their own bottle of wine. And after an hour and a half of cooking and education, it's time to eat.
I wasn't expecting to get involved. I wasn't expecting to have a great meal. It was phenomenal.
I think she did it with such a joy and a love and a heart that it was a very special time. I would be very, very happy to recommend it and have other people come back. It was a very joyous experience.
And then you're interacting and you're making friends with people who you normally don't interact with. It's a great experience that I'd have to recommend it to anybody.
Still to come, a restaurant where you cook your own food. The experts tell us not all pizzas are created equal, and the largest piece of chocolate you've ever seen, guaranteed. Now, before we go see the largest chocolate sculpture in the world, we're going to go check out some excellent pizza. Off the record, when you're trying to impress a group of people with sophisticated palates, is pizza really the right choice? We'll find out.
We have a great table of food bloggers. They're in this evening to taste some items off of our menu and some specialty items the chef has prepared. They're coming in just to kind of see what we have to offer. These are all first-time diners, and we're very excited to have them here.
Do you speak Italian?
Si parlo italiano. That means yes, I do.
Chef Justin invited me into the kitchen to show me pizza is not the only thing on the menu. So Chef Justin, what is this beautiful colored green stuff?
Yeah, it's a little weird color green today, a little 70s colors, but it's a sweet pea risotto.
Okay.
And we're gonna finish it with a little guanciale and some more fresh peas.
Excellent.
And actually I'm gonna throw in a little bit of little mint, just a tiny bit too, to accent it a little bit. We gotta try it before we give it to the customer, right?
Okay. So this is what the bloggers are going to have.
Absolutely.
I'm the first one to know whether or not
They'll like it or not.
totally not what I expected. That's delicious.
Really creamy, huh?
It is creamy, it's soft.
Yeah.
Great.
But guanciale is actually a piece of pork. It's actually the cheek of the pork, and it's salt cured and it's dried. We do that in house, and that's it.
And that's it. This is ready to serve.
Ready to serve.
So this is it. This is a food that's going to represent Irvine and Orange County to the whole internet. You ready for it?
I don't know, are you?
Let's serve it.
Okay.
And while the bloggers chew on that, let's find out why this place is called Pizzeria Ortica.
Our style is a Napolitano style pizza. It's from Naples, southern Italy. And it's a real, unique kind of pizza because we use an all wood burning oven. And it's extremely hot. It's around, 700 to 900 degrees it ranges from. So that's where you get the real dark black blisters onto it. Now we're gonna go with our crushed San Marzano tomatoes.
Now, San Marzano tomatoes, is that a...
It's from an area in South Italy.
Okay.
It's they're grown on the volcanic soil of Mount Vesuvius. Traditionally, actually, the basil's on last, but we like to cook it on the pizza.
Nice.
And we have some nice fresh mozzarella.
Tell me a little bit about mozzarella, because, the mozzarella we get in the store that's, grated, it looks yellow. This looks white.
You're probably talking about a low moisture mozzarella.
Okay.
This is just a real fresh mozzarella. We get it locally. It was made yesterday and it's great. It's salty. Now we're gonna do our salsiccia pizza. It's got a base of this stuff called mascarpone. It's kind of it's like a cream product. It's not really a cheese. And there's some chilies in there and so forth. We're putting on our house pork sausage.
Yeah. Hey.
All natural.
Big meaty chunks.
Oh yeah. And then we got some caramelized fennel.
That's caramelized, what is that?
Fennel.
Fennel.
Yeah, that's good stuff right there. And then just some fresh red onion.
Nice.
Yeah, that's that pizza. We call that our salsiccia. And then we got our Milanese pizza. We're starting with the mascarpone base again. And then we put fontina in.
Oh.
And then we got some just oven roasted asparagus.
Nice.
And then don't forget the mozzarella. All right, finish it with a little parm. And that's that pie. Okay, then straight into the oven.
Holy cow, that's deep.
Oh yeah, we fit 6 of them in there. And these pizzas cook up really quick, so I've got to work fast to get them in and to get them out, all right? Traditionally in Naples, they do a good 60 to 90 seconds in the oven. Ours is a little bit bigger style oven, so we take a good 2 minutes on them. I'm gonna put a log on, so every time you put a pizza in, you want to get a nice flame across that dome in there. So now I'm just looking on the left side of the pizzas here. My bubbles will start blistering first on that side. That's kind of my indicator that I need to turn them. It's all about keeping these pizzas on that area where they're at right now. Outside it's blistering hot. If I move it off that circle, it'll just burn. So you see the black blisters, on that left side? So it's time to turn them, right?
Look at that. How, you see, again, you make that look easy, but I'm guessing, that stuff doesn't come natural.
Yeah, I've done it quite a lot. So, just by feeling, I know it's been in there for a long time. So I want to start coloring my pizzas a little bit more. This right side's a little cooler than the left, so I've got to cook this one. That's about it for that pie.
Wow, and there it is. Look at that. Pizza 2.
Can you grab those pizzas for me, Colleen?
Pizza 3. You ever feel like you should talk anytime?
Yeah, I like that. I like that. You gotta talk with your hands, right? Thanks. Actually, Naples, they don't even cut their pizza.
Oh, they don't?
No, but
How do they eat it?
I think people get a little, well, just with a knife and fork.
Oh.
With that? Yeah, 8 please. I'm finishing this one with a little fennel pollen and just a little more Parmesan Reggiano. And here's our egg we talked about. We just sauteed it with some butter and some sage. Add a little parm and we're adding on there after.
Top it off.
Yeah.
And there they go. And how will these bloggers respond to a pizza with an egg on it? It's immediately apparent that destination number 2 is a big hit.
this has been amazing because the quality of food. Like we had a couple dishes that had Parma ham that was really Parma ham. The buffalo mozzarella was really perfect.
The way Pizzeria Ortica prepares vegetables is amazing.
And there's really unique things going on here. These handmade gnocchi, the puffiest, most delicate, beautiful gnocchi I've ever had.
They have some of the strangest and best tasting pizzas. The crusts are incredible.
I think everybody had a wonderful time tonight. It's very, very special. Food was good, fresh, prepped well, service was great, wines were great. I don't think you could ask for more.
Now it's time for the sweetest stop of all, Qzina Institute of Chocolate and Pastry, home of the world's largest chocolate sculpture.
Qzina Specialty Foods was founded about 30 years ago in Vancouver by Richard Foley, and he's actually working out of this facility, and we're primarily a distributor.
Our bloggers are treated to a Qzina Q&A, staged in their showroom, which boasts the largest collection of chocolate and pastry ingredients in the country.
We work with hotels, caterers, restaurants, cruise lines, amusement parks, anyone who has a pastry chef and makes desserts, that's who we sell to.
We are in the only facility in North America that offers a bean-to-bar chocolate experience. And to our delight, our guide is none other than the world record-holding sculptor himself, Francois Millet.
You have two types of bean. You have the bulk and the fine chocolate. The bulk chocolate, which is most of the chocolate that you guys eat, represent about 90% of the world total consumption.
This one is what?
Forastero, which is an African bean, which is represent the bulk production of the world, 85 to 90%. And this is an origin Criollo. You can see the difference of size. You can see how inconsistent the beans are. You can already, by just looking at it, to say, wow, it looks really dry. So the roasting takes anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour and a half, depending on the bean, and depending just like coffee, how you want to roast it. The roasting has three main purposes. First purpose is to kill all the bacteria. It's to develop the taste, and it's also to be able to remove the husk. And we're going to blow some air into it from a machine underneath to stop cooking those beans. So we want to cool them down, basically.
Next, the beans are winnowed. A machine breaks the beans into pieces to separate the husk from the nib. We have completed chocolate nibs, and these smell like chocolate and they taste like chocolate, a little bit bitter. This is the bean. We're going from the bean to the bar.
So next we're going to grind those beans. And we're going to grind it so much that what's going to come out is a cocoa liquor, okay, which is the main ingredient of chocolate.
Tell me what the conching does.
The conching is simply to develop all the flavors of the chocolate. So it conch for a few hours and the flavors are developing of all the cocoa beans that were roasted. The flavor is being developed in it.
And then you test it with the micrometer.
Exactly.
And then that tells you what percentages of the other ingredients to put into a refiner.
No, not at all.
So when you test it with the micrometer, what happens after you get that reading?
The micrometer is to measure the fineness of the chocolate.
Oh.
Every chocolate you have to have a certain microns that you won't basically not going to feel when you test it.
Oh.
You don't feel anything.
So it's the size
you
of the
don't feel it on your
particles?
tongue. It's the size of the particle, exactly.
Oh.
Recipe is always calculated the same way. Once we have the cocoa liquor, we're going to scale that cocoa liquor. I'm going to measure this, how much cocoa liquor I have. I'm going to divide it by 3, multiply it by 4 to make my recipe 100%.
Okay.
So originally I will have 75% of cocoa liquor. Then I'm going to add 5% of cocoa butter to make it 80%. And about 20% of sugar to make it 100%. That's how we calculate an 80%, for instance. Your chocolate is not finalized yet. You need to temper it in order to get the right shine, the right snap, the better shelf life, and so on.
How long does it take usually to get it tempered?
In this machine like yours, 20 minutes. So we're gonna mold the chocolate into little balls. This incense for us.
And now it's time for the payoff. Our bloggers will compare 80% Dominican Republic chocolate bars to 80% Trinidadian chocolate bars.
So we took out a few for you guys to test and to read about it and ask questions. Other chocolates that you would buy on the market, 80%, that's really strong. Right. You're gonna find out in those chocolates some fruitiness, some acidity, a lot more behind it than the usual chocolate, 80% you would buy in the market.
The moment we've all been waiting for. Francois will now take us to see his sculpture. It's 18,239 pounds of solid chocolate. Its base is 10 feet by 10 feet wide, and it stands 6 feet high. The base alone weighs 3,000 pounds.
So at the beginning we decided to do something small, and then our CEO, Richard Foley, who has a very big vision, said, well, why don't we make something big? And then from there we said, well, let's break the Guinness World Record of the biggest, heaviest chocolate sculpture.
The Qzina team worked very hard to build an exact replica of the Temple of Kukulkan at Chichen Itza to honor the Mayan civilization for introducing chocolate to the world. The sculpture is exactly 1/30th the size of the original temple.
And what we did is basically try to be as accurate as we could. So the stairs, for instance, on the 4 sides, the real temple has 91 steps. The Mayan counted the top platform as 1. So 4 times 91 is 364, plus 1 would be 365, representing the days of the year. On each side of the stairs, you can see those chocolate plates, and if you look at the real pyramid, there is exactly the same number, and there is exactly 26 on each side. 26 and 26 equals 52, which were the lunar years of the Mayan. Pyramid is facing north, like the Mayan did, and the reason why is because twice a year there is an eclipse happening in Yucatan. During that eclipse, on that side of the pyramid, when the sun meets the night, you can see a shadow reflecting on that side of the wall, representing the body of the snake. Or ideally, we would love to sell it to maybe a Mexican museum, because that really belongs to them. But right there, you have about, just on chocolate, about $40,000 of chocolate.
Lastly, our cameras caught up with our bloggers and asked them to share their experiences of their last meal on the tour.
I had shabu shabu years ago in Kyoto, and I always remember every detail of that meal because it was so beautiful. And this was even more fun because we got to choose ourselves what we wanted, but we also had lots of support and help on how to put together an interesting meal.
It didn't really look like a traditional shabu shabu place. It was very young and it was very modern.
You know what I think is quite wonderful is many of my readers are vegetarians. And this is the perfect place because they have their own food and they don't have to worry about, well, did something go in there that I don't want to eat? It's all right there. They'll tell you exactly what the base is. So if you are not doing something and you don't want it in there, it's not going in there.
The division of having a section for booths as well as a bar section is very unique and very welcoming, because then your your diners have a choice of privacy or the more communal bar area.
It was grand. I told Stefan I could go vegetarian after tasting the variety of spices that they have here, even just with the vegetables alone.
And the staff here oversees every aspect of it, making suggestions from the minute you sit down to the minute you get up. And I found out that 3 of us had owners waiting on us, and that's standard here.
Overall, this tour was delectably satiating, and according to the experts, Irvine definitively offers world-class cuisine for our visitors and residents alike.
Well, the tour was phenomenal and way beyond the itinerary that they gave me. We've eaten so much food, exceptional quality, and some of the most gracious service personnel, which always adds to your dining experience. And we had the pizza last night, phenomenal. We had a lunch that we prepared ourselves. And then today we're over here at the Asian area with all of the restaurants, and they picked one that I probably would never walk into. And I am blown away, and I'm already planning on bringing a party here because it's so unusual and so good and so reasonably priced.
If you'd like to consume even more information about this great city of ours, check out the website for Destination Irvine. And if you'd like to see the articles written by our food and wine experts, go to their blogs. I'm Dave Ihrig, and I'll see you on the next Irvine Scene.